Welcome back, YouTube, fellow berserkers. This is going to be a real quick video today. It's been raining for the last 2 weeks non-stop, and it's almost impossible to do any work outside. So what I've been doing inside, share with you, is I've been mass producing Charcloth. Now, Charcloth isn't very historically correct when it comes to the Viking Age. However, I'm making a bunch of it because it's very good to start fires, and it works very nicely with our Flint steel strikers. To make Charcloth, you're going to need some kind of natural fabric like cotton or linen. This is 100% cotton, and this is just some of these old rags that I get that they throw away at work. Sometimes I get some of them secondhand. When they're done using them, I can wash them and use them again. So what you need to do is find some kind of metal tin of some kind. Altoids can works great. And then you need to poke a hole in the lid. Now that's debatable. I've seen videos where they say that the holes from the hinges is adequate, and it sure may be, but I want to make sure I don't burn my Charcloth because the gases are stuck in there, and it doesn't char. Actually, if you don't have an escape for the gases, there's a whole bunch of things that could go wrong. You know, so this is one variable to use if you don't need it a lot. If you don't use a lot of Charcloth, this is a nice little tin can to make it. So the process is quite simple. Whatever tin can you may have, you can decide to. I found this real cool old DVD case on the junk yesterday while I was out in the junk looking for some cool stuff. I'm going to just cut pieces off of it. I have some of these that are like this size, some of them that are a little bit larger. Now you can really, to make it a little more historically interesting, you can use linen. Linen fabric will be historically in that time frame because they did have linen, but there are no historical recordings of the Vikings having used linen cloth to start fires. They have used charred punk wood, which is like a rotten form of wood that is decaying, and it's almost like paper, and it's really like feathery and has a fabric touch to it. I'll go and I'll collect up some possibly tomorrow if the weather gets better. It's been raining non-stop for the last long time. I make them this size right here also because it's convenient to take one and just strike a spark. Once this is charred, this will catch a spark real nicely. I'll demonstrate that here after I get this cut up, and I have some Charcloth here and I have some fire strikers, so I'm going to show you that on camera. And then I'm going to put this upstairs in the fireplace. I do this in the house while I'm just sitting around doing nothing. Actually, I come down here, cut some of this, put this in the fireplace for about 20 minutes, and then I pull it out, let it cool down for about 10, and then I come down here and reload it. I do this all night until I have that bag full, and then I'll have quite a bit. Been out collecting other tinder, dry grass. You need lots of that. It's hard to get. Like I said, it's been raining forever and a day out here, and I'm going to make myself a Viking fire starting kit here just shortly. I need to buy some more leather. I'm running out of leather. I'm making all these kits here for my buddy's birthday for all my Viking friends, and one of my other friend's birthday was just recently. He was super happy with his Roman fire starting kit that I made him. He's so happy with it, he's gonna even share it with the local Boy Scouts. So he's gonna take it down there and demonstrate it to them so they can learn something. That's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So I'm gonna cut a bunch of these because I like to have some small squares ready. I have a whole bunch of different shapes in there. Now you can also just roll this up. If you had some kind of tin can, you could just roll this just like this and set it in there upright like this, and it'll be like a roll of charred cloth when you're done. And you could it just comes apart very easily. It's very brittle. You could do that. That's possible. Like I said, you can be creative as you want. It's real important you have some kind of metal can you're gonna really have to burn all the paint off, so you don't want to do that part inside. I did the initial burning off the paint on my Altoids can there, yeah, out in the field. This can didn't have too much paint on it. This was out in the junk. This was laying in the dirt, being kicked around for quite a while, so there wasn't much paint left on this DVD case. What works really good is a round candy, what do you call it? Candy tin. Hard to come by. I don't go buy candy too often, so I'll keep an eye out. So let me just cut this. This looks like we're about ready here. I want to be able to still close the lid. Whoops. Yeah, there's still prep. You can do a couple more. That doesn't matter. You don't have to go buy a bunch of new cotton rags. They can be dirty. They can be old wash rags. They can be shop rags. Like I said, as long as they're 100% cotton, they'll work out just fine. I'm going to leave this just like this. Close the lid. And I crimp the lid down so it fits real nicely and doesn't flop open on its own. And so now all this, there's a small hole in the middle I drilled so that the pressure can escape and the gases that build inside here. Now I'm going to go take this upstairs in just a second and place it in the fireplace and let the fireplace turn it down just slightly so it doesn't get too hot. It doesn't turn glowing red. That would be a little bit too hot. That would catch all the cloth on fire and burn it completely. So let's set this aside. Okay, I'm going to show you real quick what I did today at the forge. I had this little piece of file left over, and this little striker right here. This is another one I made today. Really nice. This one throws sparks like crazy. Let me go get a piece of flint, and then I can show you. I got to turn the camera away from my workspace. I don't want any sparks landing where I have my workspace. That would be dangerous. So let me go get a piece of flint and I'll be right back. This tiny one here is pretty neat. It works pretty well. I'm going to turn the lights off for a second so that you can see the sparks. I don't know if you can see them with the camera off, with the lights on. So I'm going to turn the lights off for a second, then you can see these. Whew. That's the little fire striker. Here's the other one. This one throws really good sparks. So I went and got myself a stainless steel bowl that I had found. So let's sacrifice one of these pieces here. I need a small piece. There you go, there's a small piece. Okay, this Charcloth, this is how you would do this. We're going to use the small striker. What you need to do is find your flint where there's a sharp edge. That sharp edge is actually shaving off small filings of the steel, and those react to the oxygen in the air and cause them to glow like they do, the sparks. So you want to land those sparks on your charred cloth. So I put my charred cloth on the bottom here, just extending over just a little bit. And it takes a second sometimes. You gotta just wait and look. This flint's falling apart on me though. Oh, there it is. See it? Right there. I'm gonna take the flint off and I'll show you. I've gotta see that? That little tiny spark caused this to glow. So now I have embers. Look at that. That's pretty neat. It's burning my fingers now. That's getting hot. I'll put that in here. So what you would do, I'm just going to use a little bit of my dried grass. You'd make like a bird's nest out of your dried grass, and you'd put the embers in here. Like this. and you'd blow on it. Now we're gonna have to get this close because this is gonna catch fire in a second. Ooh, there it is, fire. Ta-da! Magic. Now I'm gonna put this on the ground and let it burn off. Ah, that was hot. Good thing I have fingers of steel. Yeah. Well, that's the idea behind that. That's simple. Unless the grass is wet or you don't have any, then there's other materials that you can use. Put that off to the side. So, yeah, you saw how easy we started that fire with this tiny little fire steel now. With this tiny fire steel. I made this today. So we're gonna go stick this upstairs in the fire. Make some more of this Charcloth. I'm gonna fill this bag up. That should last me a very long time. Considering the fact that I have a whole bunch of this Zunderschwamm in here that I'm going to be testing out. And I also have a whole bunch of tree sap that I've collected up. Whoops, don't want to dump the bucket out. Yeah, it's a bunch of tree sap from the pine trees that I walk by. I always tend to take a little bit. It's a really good fire starter also. Once you get a little bit of the embers, this stuff burns like, it's a good fuel. It smells real nice too. I use it as incense in the house sometimes. And we're gonna make glue out of this. Some pine pitch. We've never done that before. I'm excited to try that out. Supposedly super easy. I don't know, like everything on YouTube, I just do this and do that and ta-da! And I try it and I have an explosion and a fire department comes by and it's not that spectacular, so. All right, we're gonna go take you upstairs and put this in the fire and then we'll see if we get that when we're done. So let's go. Yeah, I forgot the camera. All right, you two, we're upstairs. And we're gonna take this tin, very carefully place it in the fireplace. Add a piece of wood first. There you go. There, I'm just gonna place it right there, just like that. We're gonna turn the fire just a little bit down. So, all right, that's gonna be about 20 minutes. I'll pull it out and then I'll open it up for you guys and we're gonna see if we can get this out without burning down the house. Live on camera, that'd be awesome, but not so much. So, open this very carefully. Okay. Yep. Looks good there. And then I use this. And very carefully lift it up. Okay, so that burnt my glove. Nice. But nothing happened, so let's let that cool down for about 20 minutes and then I'll show you what's inside. There we go. Charred cloth. Alright, YouTube, that's the charred cloth project. Stay tuned and like and subscribe and share it with your friends, family, and pets, dogs, cats maybe they can subscribe to. That would help out. This year's goal is 1,000, so that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna make it, I know it. Uncompromisable determination, that's what brings success. Alright, well, tune in for next episode. Thanks a lot for watching.